I'll be making an Ohara Water Reflecting arrangement using a Faceated Willow for the subject secondary group, this purple stalk for the object group, and then at the end I'll be adding a little bit of this privet as an auxiliary material. I'll also be using a 3-ring sheepo and a 2-ring sheepo to secure the branches in the arrangement. Based on the branches I have, I'm going to make a left-hand or gyakugate arrangement. So in this case, that means that the sheeples will be on the right hand of the container. The front is facing you. So place the 2-ring sheepo in the lower right-hand corner of the container if you're making a gyakugate arrangement. And then the 3-ring sheepo, I'm going to slightly angle it and place it against the back wall behind the 2-ring sheepo. Okay. Now I'm going to use this stem as my subject branch, and it's the standard measurements, length plus depth, a little more, and it's going to slant down about 70 degrees, which is about there, and maybe I want to do it at that angle. Okay, so I'm going to insert it and then have it slant down a little bit more, and I've inserted the subject stem in the large opening of the 3-ring sheepo. So that's now slanting forward and to your left. So for the secondary branch, I think we're going to want to have it slightly forward in that position. So I've placed it in this hole here. So the subject is in this large opening. The secondary is here in the smaller opening behind it. The next thing I'm going to place is the tall filler. And in that case, I want something a little lighter. And let's see if I can get this. And what I want it to do is I want it to flow towards the subject and then slightly back into the arrangement. So, okay, so what I'm going to do is I've created a little slit, and I'm going to bend it so that I can insert it in that small opening, bend it forward, add the little vertical brace here to get it to stay in place. Okay. So I have my subject, my secondary, and my tall filler. Okay. Now I think I'm going to add the middle filler here. And the middle filler should be viewed from in between the tall filler and the subject. There's an area here, and in the back it gives it some backward depth, is where you'll see the middle filler. Okay. And then we have the lower front filler. A little long. Okay, So now with the object group, let me see. Okay. So the object is actually going to flow, in the opposite direction of the subject. So it's going to flow to your right. Just stabilize this again. And it's also about half the length of the subject. Let me make sure. And I'm going to place it in the front sheeple. And it's slanting a little too much. So I'm going to add another little. Okay. And so again, that's in this front sheeple in the small opening. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to add the object load filler. And that's going to help fill in this space. Here. So let me remove these leaves, which are below the rim of the container. Okay. Finally, I'm going to use this tall filler. Let me just lighten it a little bit. And the object is in this hole of the sheeple. Its tall filler will be placed in the small hole behind it. And to keep it in place, and this would be a standard two material water reflecting. But when we have stems that either don't have a lot of leaves, or in the case of the willow at the base, there are no leaves, we use another material to add a little more fullness at the base. So in this case, I'm going to be adding just a little bit of privet. And there are no rules as to where you can place the privet, but it should not be a lot. It should not overtake any of the other materials, since this is really considered more of an auxiliary material. It's not one of the main materials used. Maybe just one more. And again, it adds a little more fullness at the base, helps fill in because the stems don't have leaves. Oh, okay, I need this one. So there you go. A Ohara Water Reflecting using Faceated Willow, stock, and